Carla Shaver, your favorite compliance nerd. And of course, I want to talk to you about compliance, especially when you're thinking about next year, which is very, very, very quickly approaching. Listen, this is an opportunity. Leave behind the bullshit of 2024. Leave behind the struggles, the things you know you didn't get done, right? You know what I'm talking about. The testing, the reviews. You know there's a lot of stuff that you probably should have done and you haven't. And that's okay. The new year is a new opportunity. So when you're thinking about 2025, there are a couple of things you need to be evaluating. First, compliance outsourcing. So whether you currently have a compliance outsourced consultant or provider, or you've never had one and you're thinking about it, really sit down and think about what you're hoping to accomplish with an outsourced provider. There's a huge range of services out there, ranging from technology only to technology and some dabbling of consultation, all the way to the other end of the spectrum where a firm will act as your CCO and do your day-to-day testing, like us. So when you're really thinking about your current consultant or thinking about using a consultant for the first time, really understand, what is it you're looking for? What do you need? What does your firm need based on your goals for next year? Also, you want to identify, if you already have a consultant, what are they doing right? What do you wish they would do? What are they doing wrong? Right? This is an opportunity, if it's not working with your current consultant, to find another one. And listen, I don't care how long they've been your consultant. You ultimately, as the owner, are responsible for your firm and who you've delegated compliance to. So if they're not doing a good job, if they're not being responsive, if they are not living up to their responsibilities, no matter how nice of a person they may ultimately be, you need to replace them. So that's the first thing you need to think about when it comes to next year and your compliance program. Really evaluating outsourcing options, whether you want to start one for the first time or reevaluating your current provider and finding a new one. That is the first thing you should be doing. Now, when we're also talking about compliance, we got to talk about technology. I can't tell you how many firms I talk to, no matter how large. I mean, they could be multi-billion AUM and still tracking stuff on an Excel spreadsheet. You should not be tracking stuff on an Excel spreadsheet. There are too many technology options out there for super cheap for you to still be doing stuff in Excel. Why? Because not all of us are Excel wizards, and it's not going to be just you forever. So it's really important to onboard a compliance technology that can automate reminders, that can serve as a document retention place for your testing. But also, as you grow, the technology can grow with you to make sure that you're implementing that testing, that those reviews, all in one consolidated location. So compliance technology, if you don't already have it in place, you need to be looking at it for 2025. Third thing for 2025, it's time to take a closer look at what? Your compliance calendar, of course. Have you not paid attention to all the damn regulation that has been coming out the last few years? There's been a lot. And then some of it has been modified because of lawsuits. Some of it's kind of gone away because a court threw it out, or there's pending lawsuits, and then the regulators rolled back certain pieces of it, or they're trying to clarify things. They put out guidance or FAQs or risk alerts. Have you reviewed your compliance calendar? Have you looked at it to say, do I need to make the testing more robust? Do I need to do something more frequently? Have I captured all the testing I need to do to make sure I'm complying with all the new regulation that's coming out? Or if it's regulation that hasn't changed, does the testing reflect the guidance or the risk alerts or the FAQs that have come out, right? Where the regulators have provided additional guidance on what we should be doing to comply with those rules. So you definitely want to look at your compliance calendar. But it's also not just about email review, billing review, advertising review. It's also actually testing your systems, right? Does your email archiving system, has anyone looked to make sure everyone's email address is actually being archived? Has anyone looked to make sure all the social media accounts are in there and they're being archived? Has anyone checked to make sure the text messaging app is working? Like, part of testing is actually making sure the systems and technology you're using are also working. Did you change how you calculate your billing, right? Did you move from the value of the account on the last day to average daily value? Well, did you update your software for that? So it's not just about the testing that we're talking about in terms of those reviews of emails and the supervision. It's also testing your processes. It's also testing your technology. It's making sure they're working and they're doing what they're supposed to do. So look at your compliance calendar, identify gaps, and start implementing the additional testing you need to. All of you have a very unique risk profile based on the services you provide, your employees, the technology, how you operate, right? Are all of you in office? Are you remote? Are you hybrid? All of these impact your business. So make sure your compliance program is customized to your business. And listen. One of the biggest things you need to do in the new year is review your compliance policies and procedures. Regulation has changed, a lot of it. So for the same reasons we need to update our compliance calendar, we need to update our compliance manuals. Not only that, but how many of you are still using all the same systems from 12 months ago? How many of you are doing the exact same operational processes as 12 months ago, 24 months ago, 36 months ago? Well, when was the last time you did an overhaul of your policies and procedures? It's probably been a few years, right? Technically, it should be every year, but we all know the truth. So you want to make sure going into 2025, going into next year, you're really going to make sure to make the time to deep dive into your policies and procedures and make sure they not only have the right rule references, because there have been a lot of rules that have been updated and new rules that have come out, but that the policies and procedures actually reflect your business practices. Super important, right? It's policies and procedures. A lot of you have policies because you're still using templates that haven't been customized to reflect the procedures related to your actual business practices. So make sure going into 2025, you're reviewing those policies and procedures and getting them updated. And finally, reviewing your ADV documents and your client agreements, where you're updating your policies and procedures, where you're updating your compliance calendar, where there's been so much updating in general and new rules. You need to make sure all your documents are consistent. So take a deep dive with your ADV documents. Go and review your client-facing agreements. Make sure they're all consistent across the board. It's so important. When regulators come and perform audits, they're looking at the low-hanging fruit, the easy stuff, right? Your ADV, your policies and procedures, your contracts, your client list. If you're messing that up, it's likely that you're messing up or not even doing the really complicated stuff. Those are all big red flags for the regulators, and we want to make sure you can show them that you are consistent, you're staying on top of your compliance program, and you're creating a culture of compliance. So listen, it's a new year, a new opportunity, right? For many of you, it's been some time since you've really spent time on your compliance program. This is the opportunity to spend that time. Looking at the recent enforcement report, looking at all the fines and bars of individuals from our industry, now more than ever, it's really important that you spend the time on compliance. You provide your compliance people the resources they need. And if you can't find good compliance people, I promise you can outsource compliance. And there are really good qualified people out there that can help you. So make sure we're not keeping our head in the sand. Let's take it out and look at the sunlight and find the opportunities to make your program even better. And if you're ready to take that step, be sure to give us a call, 770-462-2118. Our team of compliance nerds are so excited to speak with you and get your program on the right track. We look forward to speaking with you soon.